It's Polar Bear Pitching 2020! And if you've been tuning into our show before, it really doesn't look the same. And you know what? Well, all kinds of things happened, and lastly, Corona. And during the last 7 days, this whole Polar Bear Pitching conference has been totally rethought. This is the dress rehearsal and the premiere at the same time. Have we done a great job? And because this is a total experiment, anything can happen, our dear audience. The sound might cut off, we might lose the connection, we don't know what's gonna happen, but that's the salt of Polar Bear Pitching this year, as it is also the salt of life, surprises. We will be offering you a program full of surprises tonight, and this is also something that Polar Bear Pitching does every year. Couple of years back, our ice hole froze completely, so we couldn't get the competitors in. Last year, it was raining, cats and dogs, penguins and polar bears, and it was really difficult to get the people actually pitch in an ice hole. And this year, we are on the very beautiful banks of the River Oulu, where it is snowing, ice and snow, finally. So, this time, we will be welcoming virtual pitches, but also real pitches in the ice hole. And we are here to learn, we are here to try out things, and that's such is life, said Ned Kelly. So we want you to cheer for us and use the hashtags Kiss, Fear, Goodbye, and hashtag Freezing Moment, and hashtag hope to show the world that there is hope. We won't freeze, and we will kiss those fears, whatever they might be, a total goodbye, don't we? So it's time to start Polar Bear Pitching Freezing Moment Edition. Ooh, the whole crowd went completely silent. It is time to welcome our first pitcher in the ice, and it's my pleasure to welcome Moyin Ahmad from NE Device SW. Giving a big round of applause. So Moyin, one of our themes today is to gaze back at the past, and your past is also very tightly woven into the past of Oulu and Nokia. Can you tell us something, what happened, let's say, 10 years ago?
10 years ago, it's a long time ago, but Nokia was kind of getting hit by all sides. The iPhone and other things were happening, well, we know the story. There was a lot of redundancies, layoffs in Oulu, but things came back, and I've been working for a long time with very engineers, designers, marketeers in Oulu, and there's a lot of resilience here, and it's great to be here.
You're originally from the UK, but been living in Finland for 14 years, and you didn't freeze. What have you done after your career in Nokia?
Well, I brought the British weather with me, so it's raining quite nicely here. No, but started a company here with other colleagues from Nokia, and we've been working on lots of different kind of software projects, and one very exciting one which I want to talk about now. And we're not just ex-Nokians, but there's also a lot of people who came from other backgrounds, and it's the diversity of our team that makes it special.
I'm going to let you go into the oven, but before that, can you tell us, how did you kiss fear goodbye?
We don't know that yet.
We shall see. Yeah, there you go, and a lot of success and luck.
Into the water he goes.
So, hi everybody, my name is Moyin Ahmad. I'm from NE Device Software, a local company here in Oulu. I'm here to talk to you about our vital signs monitor, which is contactless and uses a camera and computer vision to measure the vital signs of a patient. Now, as I stand here in this icy water, in this icy town, I'm very conscious about the importance of my own breathing. And as it so happens, out of the 5 vital signs of the human body, breathing is the one that goes off first, when something's wrong. It's the leading indicator of a lot of illnesses, sepsis and shock, for example. However, outside of critical care departments and hospitals, there's no easy way to measure breathing. And what happens is that a lot of clinicians struggle every day all over the world to measure the breathing of patients. And the consequences of this are that, having this inaccurate data about breathing, is that patients may have incorrect decisions made about their treatment. They might be prioritized too low or even too high. And all this because of difficulties in measuring the breathing. I'll tell you how the breathing is measured currently, just for elaboration. So, watch my chest. Don't worry, it's not weird. Watch my chest and see if you can observe it moving over a 30-second period, and then multiply it by 2, and that's how nurses all over the world are measuring breathing in emergency departments and in other settings outside of critical care units. So our vision is to use cameras, software to solve this. So the setup, what we see is a camera mounted on the back wall of an assessment room in a hospital, pointing at the patient, connected to a computer or a server, which is then doing all the heavy lifting, processing the image data of the patient, and from that, with algorithms, we can obtain the breathing rate and also the pulse. So both should be measured together according to medical practice. What this means, if we have this, is that patients with sepsis might be caught in time. If they're caught within the first 2 hours, treatment is a lot shorter, and that would save hospitals a lot of money than if they have to go into intensive care or critical care. So that's what we're trying to do. That's what we're all about. How did we get here? We've been working with the Abele University Hospital. So the local hospital here, I'm pointing there, I don't know why it's not over there. But anyway, somewhere that direction. But with Abele University Hospital, who were the first ones to identify this issue. But actually it's an issue that clinicians all over the world have found. We're on the journey, we're close to piloting, we're super excited about doing that. We're wanting to do more clinical validation, more studies, and we're looking for partners all over the world, here in Finland, in Europe, anywhere. We've started with the emergency department use case, but the potential is much wider. It's also telehealth, remote monitoring, and of course emerging countries where there's a shortage of trained nurses, something that we want to address as well. Now, maybe some final words about this. We can see the news. It's quite tragic. Nurses, doctors all over the world, they're really working so hard for patients every day, saving lives. So in comparison, what I'm doing here, standing in this icy hole, it's easy. This isn't hard compared to what they're doing. The other thing is they have to assess hundreds of patients, thousands of patients in a very short period of time. In comparison to that, getting up in the morning to develop a solution to solve this problem, it's quite easy. We jump out of bed in the morning to do this. So, with that said, it's an exciting journey. Please join us. We're looking for investors. We're looking also for clinical partners, academic partners, distribution partners, anyone who wants to help, join us. So thank you for listening, and now I think I should check my own breathing and see that it's all right. It's been a pleasure. Thank you all.
Thank you, Moyen. Give him a big round of applause. Oh man, I'm out of breath just from watching his story. Unbelievable, totally unusual. But did you know that Polar Bear Pitching slogan last year used to be business unusual? And let's take a look at a video from last year of how it all looked.
Business event in the world at Polar Bear Pitching. Push yourself right to the limits at the ice hole and experience the finish. Amazing can-do attitude of Sisu. Get ready for business unusual at Polar Bear Pitching.
Picture. Time to take a look at the East. This year was an exciting year for us. The first official standalone Polar Bear Pitching event was organized on the 11th day of January in Sendai in Japan. The winner, Harold Boney, got a place and they wanted to come to Oulu, but then it happened. Coronavirus, as you all know. What a freezing moment once again. But we will be shortly taking Harold Boney with us with a virtual call from Japan, and we'll be getting somebody in the ice hole swimming for them while they're pitching for us. But before we get to the interview, let's take a look at the video from Japan about Polar Bear Pitching.
仙台のみんな頑張るよ
ありがとう And now my question is, Oulu is calling Harold Boney. Do you hear us? Do you hear us? Oh, that's a sound coming from really far away.
The magical powers
Yes, 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 yes.
Hello everyone, we are Harold Boney from Japan. We are very sorry that Polar Bear Pitching was cancelled, but it is honor to talk to you today. Let's relay to our members to introduce our company. Saki and Ota, come on.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay. First, let me introduce our company. Harmony is a creative agency, works together with artists with intellectual disabilities. We were selected to represent of Japan of the Polar Bear Pitching Sendai tournament and plan to pitch all in Finland. As you may have noticed, our founders are twins. 2 years ago, we started Harold Boney together. The reason why we started a company is that our founders have 4-year older brother, Shota. He has autism. Their brother has the same feeling as us, but some people make fun of him just because he has the disabilities. So we decided to change how people see their brother and many other people with intellectual disabilities. Today, we're cooperating with 13 caring facilities for people with intellectual disabilities, specializing in art throughout Japan. We manage data of over 1,000 artworks, which have a large proportion of top-level artists with disabilities in Japan. We're targeting not only Japan, but also the world market. There are 3 core businesses with us: selling artworks, art licensing, and apparel brand business. We will increase the value of artworks itself by competing in the world art market. With those artworks data, we have colored various places, such as stations and construction sites around Tokyo. By developing various artworks and products globally, we will plan like by Mecca.
It's actually an important first step for us to expand our business overseas. Unfortunately, our first step didn't go the way we wanted because of the coronavirus. For us, many of our events have been cancelled, and our plans for overseas business trip to Finland and the US have been also cancelled. However, we can just stop. We need to do something that we can do. In late February, Prime Minister Abele issued a request for temporary closure for school nationwide. As the graduation season in Japan is mainly in March, many of the students are unable to have a graduation ceremony. When we heard about the situation, one of our members came up with an idea that graduation ceremonies be held at home. So yesterday was the memorial day of the Great Eastern Earthquake and tsunami attack 9 years ago. Parents of the initiator of this idea were unfortunately passed away by tsunami, and he has never forgot the graduation ceremony held at the evacuation center instead of a school. Today's situation reminds him of these unforgettable memories. So we started a new project called My Home Graduation Ceremony. It is a project that those who supported a project in CARED funding will receive an art diploma, which is colored by artworks painted by people with intellectual disabilities. This project ended yesterday, reaching achievement rates of nearly 3,000%. What is more, we have been able to make Japan a little bit brighter. We think it is very important to think about what we can do now. We will continue to work hard to brighten this world. Of course, we will work hard to change perceptions of people with intellectual disabilities from Japan to the world. By delivering diverse talents to society, we will create a new culture. And we strongly hope our world is going to be a bright future very soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Arigato.
Arigato, Herald. Let's give it applause. It's so freezing out here that the connection almost froze, but we're not going to be freezing at all. We're going to get the new people pitching in the ISO very soon, so it is my pleasure to welcome Zesty Kitchen to an interview with me. Hello and welcome, and who do we have here?
This is Minae.
And I'm Holly Connolly. Hi.
I'm Pietro Nienimaki from Startup Refugees.
And we have a great combo. You have your own company called Zesty Kitchen, and you started that company with Startup Refugees in the program. But firstly, let me ask, what does Zesty Kitchen do? I'm guessing it has something to do with food.
Food, indeed. We have a little gift for you, Simo. So this is what we produce. We create lunches for people who want delivery of food to their office. So we create a community of linking home cooks with people who want food delivered. So.
Oh, wonderful. I want the camera to zoom into these really delicious dishes. Can you see that? And I can smell that they're really delicious. I would love to take a bite, but I have no hands, so maybe I'll take them later. Yes. But how long have you been going on with your company right now?
We have been developing the ideas for a little less than a year, and Oulu has been giving us a great support for Keynote growth, the co-working space people joining us for the market test, and now Startup Refugees have been having us for the business program. We've learned a lot, and now because we won the graduation ceremony pitch contest, we have a seat in the co-working space in Oulu and started to meet so many more people and started to see more opportunities, and we are very, very excited.
Yeah.
That's the power of community, and you can get to the ISO very soon. But before that, so that you don't freeze completely, Pietro, would you like to tell us more about what Startup Refugees does?
Okay, so Startup Refugees, I will start with what we believe in. We believe that immigration in Finland is a huge, valuable resource that is not efficiently enough used. We believe that refugees and asylum seekers who come to Finland, the integration process is not fast enough. And that's why we help immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers in finding work in Finland, in developing themselves so that it's easier to find work, and also if they want to start a business, we help in that with the business program, and that's why Zesty is here. They came to us for the autumn business program last year, and they came with a really potential, beautiful idea. They turned something that's already existing, they turned it to something sustainable and something unique, and that's really something that we value, and we really wanted to support it further.
Connecting people, making sure that we are not fearful of others, because connections and internationally is what gives us the richness in our life, in terms of food, in terms of people, anything. And now, is it time to kiss a goodbye for your fear of going into the ice hole? Will you give them a great round of applause? Wonderful!
All right. Hello, Oulu. We are Zesty Kitchens. What we are trying to do is to make a community platform that connects domestic cooks with hungry customers. Do you remember when last time you had a home-cooked meal, really warm, hearty meals that bring you nostalgia? Something that your mother used to make, maybe nowadays your father might be the cook in the house. I think the modern society working in the office is totally missing that hearty touch in everyday eating. So we just thought, if there are people in Oulu, so many people from different backgrounds and carrying their home recipes to Oulu, what about connecting those home cooks with hearty home dishes and introduce that food with their culture to the Oulu local people? We clearly see that there are growing interest in exotic food, different tastes, new flavors. I and Holly has lived here for 2 years and a half, and we can see increasing curiosity out of people for the new flavors. So what we are trying to do is we want to bring in home cooking into people in the office for gathering, parties, and everyday lunches. By that, cooks have an access to the local community, the society where they live in, and local people can enjoy food. We want to connect people with food. That's what we're gonna do.
Mina and Zesty Kitchens totally kissed their fears goodbye. That's so wonderful. Guys, give them a big round of applause and a huge yell. We want you to give them so much love. Wonderful, wonderful. We'll be continuing the program, and with me right now is Takako Uchida from Business Oulu. And you have something very interesting in your hands. They're red underpants, but can you tell us more what they are?
Okay, so these red pants, so the Zamira, the Japanese startup company, so make these red pants. They only have one product and only one size, but it fits from S size to the XL. So yes.
Even I could use them then. Why did they found this company in the beginning? Why do they exist?
Because so the Zamira, so located in Marumoricho, so in Tohoku area in Japan, so they participate in the polar bear pitching Sendai, so this year. Yes, but so they didn't make the winner, but so they wanted to gift these red pants to the all finalists of polar bear pitching in Oulu.
So this would have been the main prize and one of the prizes for all our contestants. But there's a bigger story behind this. So what happened in Japan when they started doing the manufacturing the underpants?
Yep, and these red pants has the meaning. So that whenever we wear these red pants, we always see the forward. So it means this red pants doesn't have front or back side. So actually, so the Marumoricho, so they got the two catastrophic experience before. So one is the Eastern Japan earthquake, so which happened 9 years ago. Actually, yesterday was the day of the memorial. So, and then the last October, so one big typhoon hit Japan. Then Marumoricho got the damage a lot. So this company founded the 2 years ago. So after the big typhoon, so this company gave red underpants to the all local victims free of charge.
So they were helping victims of the typhoon, and they didn't definitely freeze, even though of earthquakes or typhoons or anything. And red has a special meaning in Japanese culture.
Yes, so of course red has many meanings. The passion and the good luck, love, so peaceful. So it's kind of good luck amulet. So that's why Zamira put this concept into red underpants.
And that's why they would have been given to the winners of polar bear pitching, because of the great message. Thank you so much, Takako, and well, we are very happy to have you here. Give Takako a big round of applause, and they're actually testing them. Oh my God, they look nice. Can you do a turnaround? We want to see the backside too. Whoa. Wonderful, wonderful. Next up, we have an interview coming with Prateek Singh, who's a founder of a company called Fin Advance. Let's welcome Prateek. Hello, Prateek. So you are actually a university researcher, but you founded a company, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm finishing my PhD, and I have a medical technology company based in Oulu. Yeah.
And you work with medical technology. Medicine is something that we talk a lot about these days, with the coronavirus, with rare diseases, everything. But you are one of the people who are working very hard to make us all feel good and be proud of where we are. So what kind of solutions your company offers?
We grow human organs outside the body, so we can do drug testing on those organs instead of doing it on animals or on humans, so to reduce the time for drug development. Yeah.
And drug development right now is something that takes years and years, and you want to shorten that period of time.
Exactly. So currently it takes more than 5 years, so 6 to 10 years is the average time for a typical drug development, and we want to bring it down to 3 to 5 years, which is quite challenging.
That's unbelievable. Can you tell us more about how you have been able to work on such projects that actually sound like they come from the future?
So you have to know a bit about medicine and engineering both. Then we try to focus on problems which are quite immediate. And then rest is education, so you have to study quite many number of years to get the right skills for that.
And for the viewers at home, the University of Oulu is very well known for its high-quality medicine teaching and also biomedicine teaching. So if you want to be one of the future change makers of the world like Pratik, you should come and study here. Is that true?
Yes, it also takes dedication and perseverance, so yeah.
That's wonderful. I think Pratik is, as I said, one of the change makers of the future. So we want to give them a big round of applause and go check out FinAdvance. You have a webpage at home?
Yeah, finadvance.fi.
Finadvance.fi, and you'll be hearing a lot more about this guy in the future. Give Pratik a great round of applause.
Thanks. Yeah.
These kind of people we have here in Oulu, and it's getting even more than that. Again, we'll be hearing a video speech from Dr. Ute Hilme from Better Reality Venture, and this video is coming from the Alps, from Austria. And let's see what Dr. Ute would like to say to us.
Some ideas about the 3 things you should remember when doing your next generation product, when working on your innovation. So while I cannot be there, let's do it this way, virtually. For one, please, please, please keep the customer in mind. He is the one you're designing your innovation for. So customer discovery is critical. Do whatever you do, having in mind what helps the customer and what's best for them. So it's not the question what can be built, technology-wise or whatever. The question is, should it be built? That's what you need to answer. Secondly, once you're in the move, do not do any plans. I used to do thick plans like this. That's bullshit, because things are changing all the time. Doesn't work. So you need to just go and try it, test it with the customer in small little portions. Test it, listen to the customer, redesign, test it again. That's the way to go, the only thing that'll work. Now, I know you kind of know that in theory. Now, my question is, do you really do it? Customer discovery and discovery-based planning. You must do it so it works. It's not about knowing it in theory. And thirdly, think about the trends we have right now. There is the technical trends, and you know them all. I'm not going to talk about that. But there is social trends. And I just want to point out 2 social trends to you that can make your innovation a real winner. For one, there is a movement from eco-fame, right? You were famous and great when you were doing something for the ecology. And now, actually, what's changing is we're moving towards eco-shame. When you do not take care of our world, you better be ashamed. That's moving. So in this field, lots of things will happen. And secondly, there is that artificial human, those avatars that'll make our interfaces so much better. You all know Alexas, but think of Alexas in 3D, maybe holographic. They are there to give us the information we don't have, to make us understand things, and to have some fun. So build that into your user interface, and maybe even a little friendship that might be coming over the time. So those are the things I wanted to tell you about a lot longer, but now this is short, but still. Have a great time. It was wonderful being with you virtually. Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you, Dr. Ute Hilme from Austria. Give her a big round of applause. That really goes to show that no matter where you're standing, at the top of the world or at the edge of the world, perspective matters. And when you use that perspective to learn something about other people, that's when real innovations happen. And I also think that really proved that the Earth is round for all you flat earthers out there, because otherwise that couldn't happen. Next up, as we said in the beginning, this Polar Bear Pitching this year has been done in under 7 days, and the founder of Polar Bear Pitching, Mia Kempala, who could be on holiday at this moment, has been working hard with her team all around the nights and days, and she will be telling us more about why to do this in the very beginning. So let's welcome Mia! So Mia, as I said in the intro, you could be having a holiday with your team, but we're still here. So why did you do this all from the beginning?
Well, there was a reason why we wanted to do this. We wanted to show the world that it's not the end, even though it looks like it is the end. It was literally the end for us 8 days ago when we had to cancel the event due to Corona. And we started to think about that. Is there some other way we could do things? Could we turn this into a new opportunity? And then we started to think about that. What if we would turn polar bear pitching into a virtual experimentation? And I want to highlight the part experimentation because I think it's quite obvious that this has been an experimentation. But regardless of that, we wanted to prove the point that it's important to take action. You don't have to know how the world is exactly going to go in the future. But what matters is that you act and you decide to do something. And we decided to do something. We didn't know how this all is going to turn out, but we're pretty happy about it. We're having like really nice time here. And what is really important is that we have figured out a new way to do polar bear pitching. Instead of the very investor-focused pitches, we want to bring the startups to the world because the startups are the brave ones who walk there in the unknown land, in the land where others have never been before. And the startups are the ones who have the solutions that we are looking for, desperately looking for. So we want to give a platform for these startups that they are discovered. So that was one of our missions. And another mission was that we wanted, it wasn't really the outcome, what we were able to create in this time. It was more about the process. We wanted to show everybody that your actions matter and the end is never the end because you can always look things from the other side of the world or other side. As we just showed you how to do it, you will remember that for the rest of your life, that the perspective matters.
Just one thing, Mia, what has this experience taught you?
To never give up, and it has taught the power of community. Because day 8, when we had to cancel the event, it was a sad day for us because we'd been working very hard for it. But then, the very next day, we saw online, there was Signet company, Jasmin Hulko, who just posted online that, so what if the event is cancelled? We're going to go online. And that got us to thinking that, we could also go online. We could experiment and see how polar bear pitching could be done in a different way. And while we were doing this, we actually discovered many things. And one of the many things we want to tell you is that freezing moments only make you stronger. And those freezing moments are needed in life. Each and every one of us have those freezing moments. But when in the year 2020, when we look back, we have a perfect vision that it was exactly how it was supposed to go. I needed that experience. I needed that challenge. And I needed that opportunity to grow. And without that freezing moment, I wouldn't be where I am. So this has brought all of these people together here to the Sauna Lauta, beautiful sauna boat, and we are united from different parts of the world, and we want to spread the message of hope to all of you, that regardless of how it looks like that this is the end, it is not if we keep on acting, if we keep on finding the solutions, and if we keep on uniting ourselves. So that's why we want to say the message of today is kiss fear goodbye. And what we mean with that is that there are fears that are actual and real. We have to be afraid of viruses, and we have to be aware of touching the hot stove. But there are many fears that are only in our heads, and they are limiting us, and they are stopping us from becoming the persons who we can be. So that's why today we want that everybody around the world, you will kiss fear goodbye. And you blow kisses into the air. Everybody, let's blow kisses into the air. And why we kiss the air means that what is air? Air is nothing. And so fear is not real. always remember that fear is in your head. It's an illusion that keeps you from progressing and moving forward. So that's our message we want to share to the world, that it's not the end. There are always solutions, and it can be turned into the new chapter.
Mia Kemppala, can you one more time show with Anu Ritivara, who's been your main organizer partner, how to do the blow, give a fear goodbye and do that? That's great. And we all do that all around the world. You heard it, do it, and give them a big round of applause. Anu and Mia and the whole team who is sitting over there inside this wonderful sauna lauta, enjoying hot chocolate and great food. Wonderful, wonderful. And you were so talking about fighting back. We all have our own personal fights, whether they be personal, around the world, coronavirus, whatever they might be. But we must never lose hope. We must always fight back. And there's not a better person to talk about fighting back than Pekka Hyysalo, who's over here with me. Let's welcome Pekka. Pekka, I met you last year when you sort of like showed up during polar bear pitching and you immediately wanted to go into Avanto. Are you crazy, or why did you want to do that?
Of course, whenever there's a possibility to go swimming, I'll grab it and go.
I wish I could swim so I could enjoy swimming as much as you do. And you will be talking about your personal story, how you got injured while you were a sportsman and over that. And what would be your blow fear a goodbye moment that you want to say to the camera before you go to the ice hole?
I don't want to say before. I want to say from the ice.
There you go. So you have to watch this talk till the end. Pekka, let's go!
Come on, is this really not deeper than this? So, I could be here all night, but let's get started. It all started back in 2010 when I was a professional free skier. We were shooting a short movie and something went horribly wrong. It was the end of my professional skiing career. A strong blast of wind came from behind, grabbed me, and I overshot the landing in my switch double cork 1080. That might have been the end, but this was not the end for me. I fell into coma for 3 weeks, and when I woke up, I could not do anything. But the next fall, after half a year, I woke up. Then I got first really depressed, like I thought that there's no coming out of this. I can't do anything anymore. But then 1 week passed by and I decided that I have many years left in this world. I will get myself together and do the best I possibly can. Then after 2 years, I went up to the mountains, met all my old friends, and we got a crazy idea. What about if I would found a brand called The Fight Back? My life would be fighting back, literally, and this would be my life from that moment on. I did that, exactly that, and from that moment on, I have been fighting back, and it hasn't always been easy, but I have had a strong goal ahead of me, and I am a backfighter. I have accomplished many things, many wonderful things. I have gotten amazing experiences, and this is all thanks to just looking ahead and fighting back. I can say that the best thing you can do today is to kiss fear goodbye and to fight back. I have social media as well. It's either Pekka Hyysalo or Fight Back Pekka. See you online. I'm gonna go swimming now. Bye.
And there goes Pekka! Such an inspirational story, resonating and heard all around the world. Just as he said, send your kisses to fear, goodbye to him also on social media, whatever they might be. This is mine. There you go. And as we said in the beginning, we are also looking back at the people and happenings that have been taking part in polar bear pitching in earlier years. Pekka was here last year, and now we'll watch a short video recap from the year 2017, and we will see two familiar faces.
Called Satu Laboratory from Estonia. Give them a big hand. Gentlemen, we're going to do something that Finland is really, really good at. It's silence. This company is all about silence. They are quiet on, and we have Sala Lamminpää, who is here with us, and she is going to tell us something about quiet on. Oh, look at that confidence! Quiet on! Get it on, quiet on! Yeah! Woo!
There we go, familiar phrases from years back. And firstly, we are going to go to Siim, who lives in Estonia, but I'm going to give the mic to our J-Bear, who has the honor of calling him and asking if he can hear us.
Estonia, this is Oulu calling. Are you there? Are you there? Anybody? Right there. You there? Where's it? Where's it? Oh?
Mia and Salla, of course, J-Bear. I'm Siim from healthcare startup Satu Laboratory. We are solving a huge waste problem in more ways than one. Our product Gel Wipe, environmentally friendly, flushable upgrade to wet wipes. You apply the product onto regular toilet paper before wiping. It cleans, moisturizes dry skin and prevents irritation. The special formula keeps the gel from soaking through paper, so your fingers stay clean. For obvious reasons, I can't make you a live presentation. Usually I talk about how we were one of the 6 finalists of the Tissue Innovation Award by Riisi, or how I was selected among 7 healthcare startup entrepreneurs in the world by Healthcare Startup Society in London. How we were first, and now there are over 40 similar products, but our quality is still the best. Or how our sales through Amazon double each year, but the only thing you should remember today from my presentation is that there is no such thing as flushable wet wipes. Already our customers, by using Gel Wipe, have helped to remove 7 million wet wipes from oceans and shores. More and more adults are using wet wipes for improving their personal hygiene. Because good hygiene is healthy and sexy. There is a reason why Mark Cuban invested into dude wipes, why Dollar Shave Club sells wet wipes now, and why billion-dollar company Georgia Pacific made their own toilet paper foam. In UK, companies spend £81 million each year of 80% of blockages which are caused by wet wipes. Flushable wipes are costing Canadian taxpayers $250 million each year. 75% of all sewer blockages involve wet wipes and are costing Sydney Water $8 million every year. 400% rise in wet wipes in UK beaches in a decade. The problem is that INDA standards, which are designed by product manufacturers themselves, is like tobacco companies setting safe smoking limits. Also, when the word biodegradable is used or referred on the package, it doesn't mean that the product is safe to flush, because kitchen paper and coffee grounds are also natural but will block your pipes. I would like to tell that I started this venture because of the environmental concerns I had, but it would be a lie. I came to the idea out of necessity when one day, roughly 10 years ago, I had a vicious stomach issue from shoddy potato salad. Not going to describe the details, but imagine tornado going through Willy Wonka's chocolate factory. After sitting few hours on my porcelain throne, bottom sore from traditional dry toilet paper, I started looking for alternatives and discovered that there are problems with so-called flushable wet wipes. It made me curious, and I wanted to educate myself more about the topic. Not the most heroic story, but the truth. So remember this, there is no such thing as flushable wet wipes. It's just greenwashing and marketing term. So next time you have diarrhea, hemorrhoids, dry skin, or want to feel sexy, know that we got your back. Thank you. Thank you, Mia. Thank you, J-Beer. And of course, thank you, Salla.
Now from Sim to Simo.
You get us mixed up totally. Well, just as Sim said, they went into the ISO and they came back stronger than ever before, just like Pekka. But whenever we have somebody pitching from a distance virtually, we have to get somebody in the ISO. And this is why I'm calling on Salla Lamminpää to join us. Whee! Wonderful. Hey, you've been doing this before, am I right?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. 3 years ago.
3 years ago you were doing this, but you are also a pro doing this on top of everything, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So I just want to know what you have won. You are a world champion in ice swimming?
Yeah, that's true.
Whoa, have you ever met a world champion in ice swimming? I think that deserves a great round of applause. So we will have more people going into the ISO, but you are right now going to give us a couple of pro tips of how to do it. So what is the most important thing that you have to do when you go into the icy water?
Breathing. You have to calm down your breathing, and I think it's very important when you go to the water, you make long exhalation. It helps your body calm down, and it's much more easier to get the good feeling and enjoy.
Okay, so we'll be seeing some deep breaths when you go in there, and you'll be talking about how to do it. But right now, I think we all should take a deep breath, a Zen moment at the epicenter of this coronavirus panic all around the world. So shall we do it together to the camera, how to do the deep breath? 3, 2, 1. And you're ready. Let's go. A big round of applause to Salla.
Okay, hello. Now I'm going here, and I think it's feeling so good. And when I go into here, I'm so long exhalation breathing, and I'm getting my breathing very calm, and then I start enjoying this moment, and I feel a little bit my feet and fingers coming cold and pitching a little bit, but I don't care. It doesn't matter anything. It's normal, and you don't have to afraid it. And I think this winter swimming just will empty your head. You don't think anything. It's like a moment, and you can relax. You can forget everything else. You are just in that moment, and I think it's good. In this very busy world, once in a while you have to just boot your head, and then you can go back to your stressful moments because you have get so much energy and so much power from the water, and I think everybody can do it. And every time when you go to the cold water, you are winner. Even though I have been doing this over 6 years, every time I have to encourage myself to go there. So even though you have been doing this long time, it's not you just go there. You just have to say that okay, now you are going. And anyway, so would you like to come with here to so one moment? But anyway, I can say that here in Oulu it's always 9 months cold and dark, so I think we just have to face this winter and change it to the happy season, and we just have to change the attitude and thinking about the cold is our friend. And I think this is like a North people, like a hobby, ecological hobby. It doesn't like makes any bad carbonates to the air. But anyway, just I want to say that we just have to everybody kiss we fear away. Yeah. Woo!
There we go. Completely kiss fear goodbye, and we are all completely zen over here. And people are smiling. This is the way to go about with life. Even with the most difficult circumstances, give a big smile and everything will be better in a moment. There we go. Next up, let's see how one can bring a summer or spring into the middle of winter by taking a look back into a video from the northernmost Irish music festival here in Oulu and how they performed in polar bear pitching.
And here we have the Irish Festival of Oulu. Give them a big hand.
It's Brent and Marcus from the Irish Festival of Oulu. Is this really true? Irish Festival this far up north? Really?
The world's most northern Irish festival, right here in Oulu, Finland.
And you've been going on since the year?
I think it is 11th festival, isn't it? 12th.
It's the 14th. But
right.
Marcus right here is the pioneer of Irish music and piping here in Oulu for over 30 years.
Wonderful. Do you have a message that you would like to send in the theme of Irish Festival to all of the Irish people following us on the global live stream?
Happy St. Patrick's Day from Oulu, Finland.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, you heard it. And now give a big hand to the Irish Festival of Oulu!
Yeah. Oro shedava Hawaii, Oro shedava Hawaii, Oro shedava Hawaii, Anisher haktan paurig, Oro shedava Hawaii, Oro shedava Hawaii, Oro shedava Hawaii, Anisher haktan paurig.
Oh, the summertime is coming, and every bird sweetly singing. And what mountain thyme grows around the blooming heather? Will you go, lassie, go? And we all go together to one mountain thyme. All around the blooming heather, will you go, lassie, go? Everybody, and we'll all go together to White Mountain thyme. All around the blooming heather, will you go, lassie, go? Woo! Happy St. Patrick's Day, Oulu, in the world.
Oh, will you go, polar bear, go? What a memorable moment. But J-Bear, do you have your own personal favorite back from the years?
Yeah, actually, the shortest pitch I'd ever seen was in the first year. What happened is we had two guys from Kubikasa, great company, still around, good company, and they went into the water. We had sunny beach music. They had beach balls. They were kicking them around. And they went into the water, and the cold hit them. And they were so cold. You could see it right on their faces. And the main guy, he was going to speak, but he changed his mind. And he stood there, and he goes, Vittu. Now, if you're from Finland, you know what that means. All right? Look it up. Google it. Check it out.
Please censor that.
And sure enough, they got out. They were like, but we loved them. They showed the emotion. It was so great. In fact, it was so cold that day that the beach ball that they were just playing with froze to the ice. And when they kicked it, it just popped right in its spot. It was that cold.
And it's that extreme. But then again, this is a good bridge to our next interview. We were interviewing Pratek before, changemakers here in Oulu, and it's actually not as cold as it used to be. So we're talking about climate and change, and I'll be welcoming Nonne Prisle from the University of Oulu. Please welcome her. Hello, Nonne. We are very happy to have you here. You're an atmospheric scientist at the University of Oulu, a TEDx speaker. Is there anything you can't do?
Yeah, many things. Especially I can't sing like those Irish guys, for sure.
Not many people can. But can you tell us more about your daily work and the things that you are researching? What is happening with the planet?
Well, we are not in such a good state at the moment with the climate. Our daily work is a little bit different from that. So I'm leading the atmospheric research group at University of Oulu. So hello, Atmosians. What we do is a number of different things in the lab and measurements, and we do modeling. So we do simulations with climate models of the climate, and we are trying to understand our little part of all the many things that go into making the climate and the climate change that we are observing now. And one of the things that I realized from these simulations is how all of these little things that are happening and that we are doing, people are doing, they all add up in the big picture, even if we don't feel it on the daily basis and with the single things that we are doing. And this was a huge eye-opener for me, because it made me realize that to overcome this paralysis that we can often feel because the climate change is such a big thing, and what do we do about it? It feels so overwhelming. And that we are just one small person in this huge group of humanity. That it's the small things, and every one of us have something that we can do.
And as you said, we shouldn't be paralyzed. Hashtag kiss fear goodbyes. But are you saying that it could be as small a thing that you can do, or what is your main message over here? What can everyone do in order to combat this world-changing challenge?
Well, I think the main message is that everybody has something they can do, and we don't all have to do the same things. So I cannot tell you what is the best thing for you to do. The most important thing is that you get started, and I would suggest that you start with something easy, something that is very easy for you to do. I have made some examples from my own life, and that is that I don't own a car, so instead I walk and bicycle. But for you, it could be something completely different. So it's important that you look at your life and that you find the things that would align with other values and just get started. And then I think that the more things you do, you will realize that down the road, more things will also become easy. And so it can snowball from there. The point is that you have to do something. We all have to solve this. And I think everybody on the planet has something they can contribute. And then I think, very importantly, that you need to start talking about it. Because I realized from the motivational speakers that one of the biggest obstacles to acting is realizing that it can be done. So maybe by telling your story, you can inspire someone else to find their solutions. And I think as a species, we've been pretty inventive. I mean, we came all the way here. And I have hope that we can solve the climate change, but it needs action. And it's better to start today than tomorrow.
So start today, look at your life, and baby steps will take you far. That is the message.
Yes, but do get started and take bigger and bigger steps.
You heard what Nonne said, and as I said in the beginning, she's also an accomplished TEDx speaker, and the title of your TEDx speech was?
Small step for us, a big leap for the planet.
Go to YouTube and check it out and start action today. Thank you, Nonne. Thank you so much for coming. These are the kind of people that we have here in the community of Oulu, and what a world it can be if we all did something small and started right now, today. Next, I will be calling Teemu Kalliojärvi to the interview, and we've got a couple of things to talk about. Hello, Teemu.
Hey. Hey, Simo.
Nice to see you. Yeah, fist bump over there.
Fist bump.
Yeah, of course, we shall do that. So let's first talk about, because you've been involved with Pipolätkä. What is this thing? Save Our Winters.
Yeah, in Finnish, Pipolätkä, so beanie hockey, and we call it pond hockey. Something that we can call is species in Finnish, it's laji, about to go extinct if we don't work. So playing outside hockey is gonna go extinct if we don't work, but we are working, yeah.
And we don't want that to happen, because otherwise Finns would lose to Swedes in the World Championship of Ice Hockey, right?
Well, you got the point already.
So you will be going to the ice hall and telling more about this ice pond hockey, and maybe you could also share from a personal perspective your own freezing moment that you have. You don't have to say it now, just like Pekka said, we'll wait until the end so people have something to watch over there at home. So I'm going to wish you good luck and a fist bump, and then we go to the ice hall.
Yeah, thank you.
And a big round of applause too.
So I'm not sure if I need to pitch for anyone, so I just need to show what I'm taking off. This is actually a story goes, I'm a winter lover, and I think we have one of them here.
Go to the ice hole.
We have one of here at Save Pond Hockey. So all the polar bears getting together, saving the pond hockey. Can you please hand this to me? One thing, I'm not pitching you to do anything like this. But if you feel like, I think that's the most big fun. Yeah, I think world needs leaders. And we have all heard what young girl called Greta talks to world leaders. I'm not doing that. I'm a follower. And who I'm following? My big role model Pekka here, fighting back. Then we have, well, Salla, who is I to him world champion, inspiring me to come here. And then last speaker about climate change. I think we all heard it. It's gonna be tough and we need to take action. Let's take it now, starting now and next weekend, 31st of March in Oulu, Save Pond Hockey Tournament. And we're gonna play and save pond hockey. Please join us. I'm gonna come out now. Woo!
Thank you, Teemu. The future of ice hockey in Finland is in your hands and in everyone's hands. And now again, as we said in the beginning, if we have somebody in the ice hole, somebody's going to pitch virtually too. So we'll be calling Israel this time and Alan Cohen, who comes from the company called Pika Diapers. Israel, are you listening?
Hello, and I'm the founder of Pika. Well, basically, it all started with my young daughter Raz. We started using diaper for our first time, and each day. So I took the garbage to the waste, and then we figure out that lots of plastic waste is going to our landfills. 6,500 diapers are going to our landfills. It's almost 2 tons per baby. So we try to figure out for other options. We started using reusable diapers. This product, and we found out that this is very hard to handle. You deal with shit every day. Basically, it's all this cleaning process. It's very, very hard to do. So I came up with the idea of Pika, a small machine that cleans reusable diapers automatically. We just put inside our machine 1 to 10 diapers with no prior cleaning. We just put inside, and that's it basically. We currently have this our prototype with a pilot with customers, also with my daughter Raz. That she loves those diapers, and we also have patents and the capsule that we developed, and that's it. We're currently also raising money if someone want to join to our journey, and that's it. So hi from Israel. It's about 25 Celsius, so it's much warmer. Have a No? Yes, so did you hear me? Okay, great. Yeah, so we're trying to make all this waste much less with our solution. And bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Alan. And I think we already have one customer in the jacuzzi who would be a potential customer. Teemu, you heard the great pitch. Would you say that that's a product that you could be using as a father? Sorry, I didn't hear. Yeah, there was a pitch about these new diapers that can help you grow a child, and you have a little polar bear cup over here, so a good customer.
Definitely, I'm a fan of it.
Yeah. Wonderful. Enjoy the hot waters over there. Thank you so much. And before we continue to the next pitch, let's again watch a video from last year. And this time we will be welcoming Lasse Kukkonen, who's a player at Kärpät ice hockey team here in Oulu. And they will also be talking about what this climate change is doing to our winters here up in the north.
Oulun Kärpät and Lasse Kukkonen. Welcome, Lasse. Sports and climate change, they're not the typical combination. Can you explain what is happening with you?
Well, that's kind of tough to explain. I don't know what's happening to me either right now. But let's see what's going to happen. But like you said, it's not the usual combination, but I think everybody do something, and we have to start somewhere.
Small steps forwards, right. But before I let you into Avanto, I just want to ask one question. Which one is more nerve-wracking? A penalty shootout against Pelicans or going into the ice hole?
Going into the ice hole for sure.
You heard that, all Pelicans fans. Please give a big hand to Lasse Kukkonen!
Okay, let's start. So, my name is Lasse Kukkonen. I'm a hockey player for Kärpät Oulu. I've been lucky enough to play hockey for about 20 years as a professional hockey player. I've been part of 4 Olympic Games, and I've been member of the World Championship team. What I think is the biggest reason I've been able to do that is that when I was a kid, I used to play outside hockey all the time. I used to go just outside of my house. There's a rink close by, and I used to play with my buddies. What worries me now is that what's going to happen for the next generation of hockey players. How they're going to be able to go outside and enjoy skating on the ice instead of standing in the ice hole. And I know for a lot of people, the climate change is a big and scary thing. But I think we should use the mindset I've learned in hockey that together we can do big things, we can change things, we can beat the big opponents. And change the mindset instead of fighting against the climate change. Let's start by saving the pond hockey together. So join me, save the pond hockey, and let's go!
Already the second world champion that we've had in the ice hole. J-Bear, how many world champions have you met while doing polar bear pitching all over the years?
Oh, goodness, where do I start? There's so many great people that go in the water. You know, it's amazing the people, the places, the things that you see and learn from the people who come to polar bear pitching. People from Africa trying to save people's lives when they go to the hospital, all about power to people trying to increase internet speeds in India, in crowded places where Wi-Fi doesn't even work. There's so many people. It's just crazy, the people you meet, and they're all champions to me. I love them.
That's the best message, connecting people and seeing their passion that they bring to polar bear pitching. We've been traveling all around the world in Estonia, in Israel, but I think we're still missing one very dear neighbor, Sweden, right? And our next virtual pitch will be coming from Sweden, and they are Hooked Seafood. And shall you do the calling part, Jay Bear?
Okay, Hooked. Are you there?
Yes, we are.
Oh, there he is. Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Seafood, our happiest source of protein. Or is it really? This is Bob, and his grandfather lived in harmony with the local fishermen 100 years ago. Yes, but since then, our consumption of seafood has increased rapidly and is expected to grow by another 30% the next coming 10 years. This has led to high levels of antibiotics, mercury, and microplastics in our oceans and in our seafood. Fish farms are collapsing, our ocean is intoxicated, the species are on the edge of extinction. So healthy for whom? Not for us, and not for the planet. And this is obviously a great problem, and for me personally as well. I'm really concerned about my health and about the environment, but still I love the taste of good seafood. What if I told you there was an alternative to seafood that has all the good nutrients and is fueled on the bad chemicals that we also can scale without harming Bob and his ocean? Do you really mean there is such a miracle solution? Tell me more. Of course. We are Hooked, and we offer vegan, nutritious seafood alternatives to restaurants and grocery chains. Our first products are salmon and tuna alternatives. Okay, I don't really get it. Is it seafood or is it not seafood? So it's a vegan seafood alternative based entirely on plants. And actually, our products are the first ones in Europe that has the same nutritional value of protein and omega-3 as traditional fish, offered to a reasonable price as well. Like, okay, but seafood. Okay, that sounds really interesting. But still, I'm thinking these products are only for vegan hippies. I am a fisherman, and my family has eaten seafood basically every day since my grandfather caught his first fish in 1785. So, these products really for me? Actually, you're the perfect consumer for us. The biggest social impact and monetary potential in the food system is to offer sustainable alternatives to everyday people like you in their everyday lives. Well, sounds awesome. It is. Right. The Hooked team consists of Tom and me, and Peter, our CTO, who leads our product development. And yeah, let's not forget Bob, who is always reminding us of why Hooked is needed so badly. And then the restaurant changes to collaboration and personality, which we will launch after this summer. But in short order, only the European tuna and salmon market is valued $20 billion. Well, that is a vital potential, right? Our goal is to become the leading seafood company in Europe. Join us on this journey and stay calm. Because remember, it's important for him and for our health. We are Hooked. On YouTube.
Give him a big round of applause! Oh my god, seafood that is completely vegan, tastes and smells like the original seafood. Are we living in the future, J-Bear? What do you think?
We are.
I think so too. And you might be wondering, where's the virtual ice hole? Well, didn't we freeze the connection a couple of times? There's the virtual ice hole if you were looking for it. No pun intended. I'm sorry about that joke. But we'll go on. Well, in polar bear pitching, anything can happen. J-Bear, do you remember a couple of years back when we had a company called Zalster and they got sick in the very last minute? And then the Newsweek reporter Anthony Cuthbertson, who was also taking part in the event, actually wanted to try out the ISO and go there. Was that impressive, or what did you think? The guy must be crazy. He wants to pitch for somebody else?
Well, I think of all people, that guy from Newsweek, he did an amazing job. He took the essence of polar bear pitching and facing the ice and moving forward and did a great job pitching. It was fantastic. And it really showed his care for startups and really wanting to take in the experience. And I really enjoyed watching it. It was cool.
Absolutely wonderful, and that's the kind of attitude we want to see from you, our dear viewers. So use the hashtag KissFearGoodbye and share your own moment where you were able to do the same. And now I think it's time to ask our next pitcher to join us on the stage, and he is Tuukka Kivilahti from Signet. Welcome.
Hello, you come in here. Yeah.
You excited? You've been waiting to get into the ISO for the whole time?
Yes, I'm getting cold already inside, so I want to get the ice to get warm.
That's wonderful. You do a lot of work with security, right?
Yeah, and trust. So our startup is all about trust. With our application, when I meet you, I can form a trust connection with you, and then I can encrypt message to you and send it using any messaging platform there is. So I only need to meet you once, and then I can use the program.
That sounds absolutely wonderful, and we want to hear more, but I want to show you I trust you. I don't have any electric devices, but I trust you, Tuukka. You are absolutely wonderful. Go to the ISO!
Here you go. Yeah. Hello, I'm Tuukka. I'm not from Tuukka. I already froze. And I'm from Signet application. And here today I'm telling you a startup story in the form of climbing story. So we were this group of 3 people, and our plan was to climb up this mountain. Climb up 5 rope lengths and then rappel down. So we started to climb. Everything went quite fine. We were climbing this wide gap, but it was getting all the way wider and wider. And eventually, after third rope length, it was so wide that our gear didn't fit there anymore. So there was no way for us to continue any further, no way for us to continue to our goal. But we were still really happy what we had achieved, so we changed direction to go down. Now we rappelled down 1 rope length, and after that we started to pull the ropes down from below, so we can change our direction to the way where we come. We came from that direction, ropes were coming from that direction. I'm showing you up here. And we started to pull the ropes up, and they got stuck. And the problem was that they got stuck in the place where we had never been before, so it was total unknown territory for us. But sometimes you just need to go to the unknown territory, so we followed the ropes. And luckily, when we got down there, end of the ropes, there was this small ledge, like 2 times this stair where I'm standing currently, and we were able to hook ourselves in. And now we started to pull the ropes down, so we can use the ropes to go down to the ground, like go down next rope length. But they got stuck again, this time above us. And now there we were in the small ledge. It was getting dark and cold, and it was still 20 meters to ground. It was really close by, we could see the ground. It was really frustrating, but still we could not jump there. And ropes were stuck above, so we got 2 options. We can wait there for help, so that's like quitting, just like quitting the thing we were doing, or we could somehow get the ropes down from above us. So we planned to decided that we want to get the ropes down. All of 3 of us had studied theory how to climb up the rope, but none of us had done that in practice. So we built up this rig. I clipped myself into it, and I started to make my way up to the rope really slowly, and I was way out of my comfort zone. It was something I had never done before. Eventually I got to the place where the rope is stuck, I released it, and then I rappelled down to my friends, and now it was already dark. But that was the only thing we had prepared beforehand, the darkness. So we had 2 headlamps for 3 of us, it's plenty of light. So we shoot up the headlight, put the rope down and use that one to rappel the last 20 meters. And now we were happily down. And this was my startup story in non-startup world. And in Signet application, we have also had similar, our own startup story. It is the same pattern, it's just different words. And in Signet application, now again froze, but we create trust between people, and if you want to know more about us, you can check our webpage. It's called signet.app. Thank you.
Woo! Thank you, Tuukka. What a wonderful story. What a wonderful story you have. People are enjoying their time, and I hope you, everyone there in your homes, abroad, overseas and at home, are enjoying our program. As you already might know, we've seen people, change makers and experts in climate change, printing organs in a 3D way, but we also always known as the capital of 6G, and now I'm going to be demonstrating our virtual part of the conference, because hundreds of people have been meeting Umbrella, accepting requests, networking, talking about their companies and stuff like this. Jason, can you just say, what is the importance of networks for anyone?
Gosh. Yeah, with networking, it's a vital aspect of making money in a business and making the connections that you need to both learn about your idea, find out where it's failing, and adapt it for the future. Without a good network, you can't find the right kind of customer, you can't understand your customer, and you need to always be building that network. As the polar bear, I've been lucky enough that wearing a polar bear suit somehow makes better business, so I'm really lucky about that network.
And Polar Bear Pitching brings together startups and the leading thinkers and influencers of the startup world, and this is why next we'll be hearing a keynote from Greg Shepard.
Hi, I'm assuming everybody can hear me okay. So my name is Greg Shepard, and I'm a serial entrepreneur. I have built and sold 12 companies. I've had 15 exits, won 4 private equity awards for transactions over 500 million, sold a business to eBay as part of a cross-border transaction for 925 million. I'm also a writer for Forbes, Entrepreneur, Fortune, and Bloomberg, Huffington Post, on a lot of podcasts, the news occasionally, and I have a book coming out published by Forbes. I'm also a TEDx speaker. And the reason why I'm here and what I try to do now after building my companies and exiting is trying to help more entrepreneurs succeed. I think that the failure rate of 80 to 90% is unacceptable. I think in any other industry, people would look at that and say something has to be done. What I did is I spent about 25 years, and I have done scientific studies of everything from the Navy SEALs to the manufacturing sector, the software sector, development sector, interviewed thousands of entrepreneurs, investors from different realms, and tried to figure out why these businesses are failing. When I started to learn about why they're failing, I also tried to learn about what stage they're failing. And so if you look at business from ideation, which is pre-seed capital, all the way up to the exit, and if you look at each segment, each level, each benchmark that businesses go through, what I learned is that a lot of businesses didn't have what's called a North Star. I developed the North Star to be the one single place that you go to. And the way the North Star works is it identifies what your business is, who is going to buy your business, and why somebody should buy your business, and even how much and when you should sell your business. I get into a lot of conversations with people and they'll say things like, well, I don't know that. Investors will say it's too early, or entrepreneurs will say it's too early. But I ask you this, when you build a product, you already know who your customer is. You would never build a product without knowing who your customer is. The acquirer of your business, the whole acquirer of your business is essentially the same as your customer. In other words, your business is just a product to that acquirer. Strategic acquisitions have to do with the fact that the people that are interested, the businesses that are interested in acquiring your business, are businesses that already absorb the CAC cost, the customer acquisition cost associated with getting customers, which is the most expensive part about building a business. And because they've done that, they're trying to optimize that sunk cost. And the way they do that is by buying other products that fit with the customers that they already have. Going back to the North Star, if you don't start by identifying who your buyer is and who their customers are, and making sure that your customer, your ideal customer profile, your ICP and their ICP are not the same, you're going to run into a problem, and by the time you realize that you have a problem, it's going to be too late. You don't decide you're going to sell your business at the point that you want to sell your business. You start working on that very early on, the very early days, pre-seed, and ensure that all the money that you're spending along the path is building a customer base that your buyer cares about. I talk to a lot of businesses, and what they'll do is they'll say, okay, we're going to go into growth and we're going to invest a ton of money into growth. They go to work trying to invest a bunch of money into growth, and they turn around and they realize that the buyer really didn't care about how many customers they had, because the buyer maybe had 5,000 customers and this company that's looking to be acquired has 100. So you have to make sure that you understand your exit strategy from the very beginning. Businesses either do one of two things. They either solve a problem or they take advantage of an opportunity. And you have to realize in those scenarios, your buyer is the same as your customer. You're either solving a problem or taking advantage of an opportunity for your buyer of your business, as well as your customer that you're selling your product to. And you also have to stand back and say, what is my business? Description, feature, and benefit. Who is interested in my business? Customer and buyer. And this is an ideal customer profile and an ideal buyer profile. And then why? Problem, solution, and impact. When is time horizon? This is very important because the longer you kick out your exit, the more cash you have to take on and the more dilution and the more you have to sell for in order to make sure that everybody is happy with the exit. And so you can cause this circular effect where you delay your exit, you raise capital, you have to raise your exit now, you go have to take capital again, and you go round and round and round until the business becomes unsellable or you have to do a down round. This is one of the stages that people fail at the most. And this is one of the things that I'm trying to make sure that I spread with people. Your business is just a product to your buyer, and you need to make sure that you focus on building a business they want to buy. And you need to make sure that their customer and your customer are the same customer, so that everything you do and all the money you spend moving forward is driving you towards that end. I hope this has been very helpful for everybody. Thank you.
And I think it's actually somewhere over there. We can almost see it, but definitely Oulu is the place where you can find the Northern Star. JB, have you ever met a person who's been part of a $1 billion exit in a startup company?
$1 billion? No. Several million, yes.
Now you have met one billionaire too. New experiences every day. We'll go on to our second keynote and we'll be welcoming Chris Abele, who's the VP Innovation at Techstar, and he's one of the leading experts in how to turn startups into multi-million-dollar companies, and he has been dubbed the Startup Whisperer. Welcome, Chris.
Can the crew give me a signal whether you can hear me? Awesome. Well, my name is Chris Abele, and I'm from North Carolina, and have the opportunity to come speak with you all in good, though it might be 21 degrees Celsius here, I'm going to be there in spirit with you. I'm going to keep this short because the organizers I was able to pre-record my keynote and put it up online with you all. And so to that end, why listen to me drone on when you guys are getting cold? But let me just give you a few highlights. And Greg hit a lot of really good moments for you all. But, I've been an entrepreneur my life. I happen to be one of the co-founders of MapQuest, which was a $1.2 billion acquisition by AOL. Some of the young ones don't remember MapQuest. Just think of it as Google Maps before it was Google Maps. And I've also been lucky enough with that success to turn into an investor and do my own startups. And more importantly, over the last few years, I've been focusing on how do I help other startups succeed. And so, it's an unbelievable opportunity. And what I wish to share, like Greg, with some of those lessons. When I ask people how many, raise hands, how many people have an idea they'd like to do something with, 90% of the hands go up. Everyone has an idea or has had multiple ideas over their lifetime. But when I ask people to keep their hands up if we actually launch the idea, 90% of the hands go down. And I wanted to figure out why that was, because I think the idea phase, the idea to doing something, the leap, the launch, is the part that kind of is the choke point for most people. And when I thought about all of that, I thought about fear. And I think about this idea of kissing fear goodbye. And so a few years ago, I went out and talked to a whole bunch of people and made a couple of observations, and that fear is stopping people from launching an idea. And that fear is everything from how am I going to live? Am I any good at this? What if it's a terrible idea? And what I want to share with everyone who's listening is that you're not alone. We all have the same fear and the same talk track in our head. That little voice that is trying to protect us is not really good for entrepreneurship. And so I guess I thought maybe what could I do if I could help someone slay that fear and get over and answer some of those questions. And so I thought about my lifetime, and I thought about something that I enjoyed doing, which was building forts. And so for the next couple minutes, I want to share with you kind of the highlights of this book that I wrote called Build a Fort, how you channel your inner 10-year-old to starting anything, including the first over 60-year-old men's hockey league in Raleigh-Durham, North Carolina. Go Sebastian Aho. So to that end, let me share with you a couple observations. if you think about you as a 10-year-old, and whether you were building forts outside with wood that you borrowed from a neighbor or from that construction site, or whether you were someone that built forts inside by turning your chairs upside down and putting a blanket over top of it, that little 10-year-old was pure and didn't have all this adult crap that we put on. These lessons that if we could channel that inner 10-year-old and really kind of try to simplify things and kind of create this no fear state. At 10, we had no fear. And a conversation would be, hey, polar bear, do you want to build a fort? And without a hesitation, polar bear would say, sure, Chris, where do you want to build this time? And if we start to think about how we share ideas without any fear or inhibition, and the more people we share them with and socialize that idea, the more that we start to get feedback and whether this idea is any good, and we start to get some confidence and some momentum. And then we start to find the things that are closest to us to start to kind of build this MVP that we've heard about, this minimal viable product. And we start to put that in front of a customer, like Greg said, and they give you feedback. And you start building slowly and surely and piece by piece, not getting overcomplicated with this future vision of what the company looks like, but thinking in more in 3-month increments. As a 10-year-old, we thought in 2 or 3 day increments. That's about all the patience we had. And those are some of the 4 or 5 lessons that I'd love to share with you, that I'm sharing with you now, and that I ask you to, go look at the keynote that's I pre-recorded yesterday, and start thinking about maybe how you can start to slay your fear. And with that, I wish you all good luck, and I'd love to see more people in the ice water. Thanks for listening.
Not dubbed Startup Whisperer for nothing, because that was the beginning of the speech, but then, of course, we can hear you. We are almost closing in at the end of our event, but let's take a look at one final video from one of our companions, the Air Guitar World Championships, and their important message of being who you really are.
Kaikenlaista.
It does take all sorts, but never the ordinary. So Mia and Jay Bear, we are already closing in at the end of our event, and I don't know if the people at home noticed, but some things didn't quite go as we planned. Well, is this the truth?
I guess like maybe 80% of the time things didn't go as we planned, but who cares? I mean, we tried, we did, and that's what happens also in life. You don't know what's going to happen, and it rarely ever goes the way you've planned. And that's what we wanted to show you. We wanted to show you that life is not what you see on those Instagram posts or on those beautiful blog stories. Life is what happens in between. It's in those moments when things didn't go exactly the way that you thought, but you just decided to make the most out of it. And you'll improvise. I mean, that's the beauty of it. Because when you improvise and you make mistakes, then that's when you actually can come up with something genuine, something truly unique and beautiful. And I'm going to tell you about one mistake that last time when Simo was hosting for the very first time at Polar Bear Pitching. So what happened was that Simo had trained and practiced really, really hard. And he was afraid of making a mistake. And so there was the opening speech, and drum rolls, please, everybody, the attention is getting there. And so Simo started with his powerful slogan. He was about to say, what were you about to say?
The one and only. That was the thing that I wanted to say.
So Simo wanted to make the point that the one and only Oulu. But what instead of his came out of his lips was the one and Oulu. And so we didn't notice anything. But a couple of days later, a patent office from Helsinki called us and said that who is your host? Who is this amazing guy you have there? He's so amazing that he cannot even make mistakes. And when he does make a mistake, it's something so clever that you can trademark it. I was like, well, what did he say? What we don't know. What was that? And so they were like, didn't you notice? He said, the one and Oulu. That's a beautiful slogan because no other place could do that. The one and only is something that nobody can trademark. But because Oulu is so close to only, everybody knows what that means. So, you remember to be yourself and repeat to yourself, I am the one and Oulu. I am the one and Oulu, and I can do the things that I have thought about doing. There's nothing stopping me, no fear stopping me, because I have kissed fear goodbye.
Indeed we have, but there's one thing still remaining. We want to get all of the people out from the beautiful sauna latte to celebrate with us. Celebrate at home, kiss your fears goodbye, use the hashtags, freezing moment, kiss your fears goodbye. And J-Bear, there's still one thing that we're missing from a true polar bear experience.
If there's one thing that always happens at polar bear pitching, when it's all over, we party! Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Live from Oulu, it's Polar Bear Pitching! Bledla Brewhouse, Livepaletti Rexter, Sendai Serie Makoto and Irish Festival of Oulu, all of our wonderful partners for making this come true. And thank you so much for joining us at home. And we welcome and we want to say thank you so much to you. We're sending our loves and kisses all the way from Oulu to all of you. Thank you.